Kish, what are you saying, bro?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me back on.
Bro, no, thank you for, asking to come back on. And thank you for gifting me this bad boy.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the concept and the idea of this new book.
There was this competition and one of my friends sent me a link about competition about this book. I have to write 21 poems in 21 days. And it was quite funny because I hadn't written in a while and I was searching for something. And then when I entered the competition, the publishers came back to me and said that we really like what you've written so far. Do you want to make it into a proper book and extend it further? So I was like, perfect, let me just fill this out now. Like, how many poems do I want? And 33 poems, SpokenThiird. I just thought there would be a wonderful synergy to us.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Why do you keep writing?
It's the only thing I know how to do. It's the thing that I enjoy the most. It's my version of freedom. It's chaos and order completely in the best possible synergy.
Yeah. Like reading it, in my head I'm thinking there's some deep poems in here. Yeah. Mr. Failure.
Yeah.
Mr. Restart. Yeah. Mr. Addict.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Kish basically trying to just get out to the world right now, what possibly he's still going through.
It's a good question. There's a couple of things I want to say. Like, heartbreak is crazy because it's not just emotional and mental, it's actually physical.
Yeah.
Like, it actually hurts physically, not just which was something that people don't really speak about. And
you said physical pain. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, bro. Like, my heart was hurt, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I felt sick at times. I remember.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Unfltered podcast, where we take the eye out of Unfiltered and put the emphasis directly on you. This is the one platform where we get to take down our filters and have raw, authentic, and vulnerable conversations in regards to the challenges that we're all facing today. Now, if you're a fan of the unfiltered nature of this podcast and you want more of these conversations that I have on the show to be normalized, why don't you help me help you to get more guests on and to have those difficult conversations in regards to the challenges we're all facing? I have to know what it is that you specifically want us to speak about. So if it isn't too much to ask, why don't you hit that subscribe button right now? And at the end of the episode, if it's been a hit for you, if it's hit home, why don't you leave a thumbs up and leave a cheeky review in regards to what specifically resonates with you. Now, with that all being said and done, let's get straight back into the episode. Kish, what are you saying, bro?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me back on.
Bro, no, thank you for, asking to come back on. And thank you for gifting me this bad boy.
Yeah, no, pleasure, man.
What we cooking over here?
No, it was just, I think this is the most open I've been.
Yeah.
Honest, more about myself.
Yeah.
Normally, I think even the last bit I had a conversation about was more about my ideas and spirituality and things that probably that I'm thinking about or I'm feeling, but not really about me as an individual. But this was as honest and authentic as I've ever been, and I thought, especially after how much I enjoyed our last conversation, that you were the perfect person to when it comes to all these kind of stuff. So
it was a sick chat last time.
Yeah, man, really enjoyed it.
Good convo. Spoke a lot about the last book. Back in with the new book. I was a big fan. I was a big fan reading it. Like, very, very easy read. We discussed that before we started shooting. Very easy read. Few things that I pinpointed out. Definitely want to touch base on that. But talk to me about the concept and the idea of this new book. His Light.
Yeah. So the idea came about after the fact. So there was this competition, and one of my friends, Vidya, she sent me a link about competition about this book. I have to write 21 poems in 21 days. And it was quite funny because I hadn't written in a while and I was searching for something. And I was like, this is perfect. Let me just write and forget about if it's great or it's this or it's that. Let me just get writing again. And then when I entered the competition, the publishers came back to me and said that we really like what you've written so far. Do you want to make it into a proper book and extend it further? And I was just like, this is just the perfect opportunity for me to do that. So I looked at all the poems that I'd done, and I was like, oh wow, like they have some common themes in them, like something about the mind, about the questioning mind, or about me, or about how I'm feeling, and some intro and outro poems. So I was like, perfect, let me just fill this out now. Like, how many poems do I want? And 33 poems, spoken third. I just thought there would be a wonderful synergy towards that. And then it was about being honest and being open and talking about where I was, pardon me, and where I've been. And that darkness is something that I don't really speak about what I've been through, because people normally see me as somebody who's quite spiritual and is always positive and happy.
Yeah.
But there have been moments in the last 2-3 years where I wasn't feeling that way, where I actually purposely went towards that dark side in some cases, and I really wanted to showcase how that dark side can be quite attractive when you're at your lowest points, and how it feels to be in that, and then showing how light is actually just a perception of that same thing, and darkness is one way of looking at it and light is another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And that was how each poem was formed, about my darkness and his light, which is the book. Yeah.
Who's his light?
So his light, well, for me it's my guru, but the way I've written it was, it could be anybody that you look up to. So it could be your God, your priest, your parents, your grandparents, anybody that shows you wisdom. And for me, it was somebody that I have in my life, which is my spiritual guide, my guru. But I tried to keep that as open as possible so people can connect to it from different faith backgrounds and different ideas of life.
So I read it from like a different angles.
Yeah.
From my own perspective on it. And I was thinking, is this what Kish is going through? Because it's somewhat relatable. I don't know, like now you just said his light. I'm thinking it was always your light to begin with. I didn't even know it was towards your guru. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, you mentioned a few things. I'm going to jot them down right now because I definitely want to make sure we tap into that. Let me go into a few of the poems that stood out for me.
Yeah.
Some of the pages. And for, having to use separate prompts, to promote the book out there. But if you lot can see, his light in my darkness. Yeah. So this isn't about you, or it is about you?
No, so it is about me. So the darkness part, so every poem is in 2 sections. If you can see it, one is left hand, and the bottom part is right hand. So the left hand part is about me and my struggle and my darkness, and the right hand alignment at the bottom half is what I've learned from my guru, and how he's shown me that if I just see all of these things from a different perspective, I'll be able to move from darkness to light. So it is personal. It is about me. Yeah.
It's so we've gone from Diary of a Pilgrim to now 33 poems.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about. I wrote down a few that stood out.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonder Kid.
Mr. Wonder Kid.
We've got Mr. Alone, and then Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
I just want to just go into Mr. Wonder Kid, just if I can read first 4 lines.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be the goat by now. Rules of 7 seas. I should have had my own boat by now. Gardening money trees. I should have had my own note by now. I was born a wonder kid. I was supposed to be the goat by now.
Yeah.
Goat being greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
Are you not the goat?
See, the thing was, for me, that I don't think I'm a goat yet. In no way. I've got a long way to go. But it was more about, and I think you've spoken about this in some of your clips that I've seen actually online, about that pressure of performing as a kid.
Yeah.
And everyone told me I was special when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. My school, my parents, I was like in Mensa, like all these things that people put on me about being special and being brilliant, and then never living up to it from an academic point in some ways. I didn't get the greatest GCSEs or the greatest A-levels. My degree, I got a maths degree, which was great for me, but even the way I did that wasn't as smooth as I would have liked it. And I think that pressure of having to be somebody that was great, but that greatness was their version of greatness, not what I believe greatness is now. And that is finding out who you are and being true to yourself. And what I write, like, even then people would be like, oh, how many books did you sell, right, to garner how successful I am. And for me, sometimes just completing the book is success
Yeah.
in itself, you know, like the fact that I actually have something, that I've accomplished something, that it's there, people can read it. That is success to me. And connecting, like even the fact that you enjoyed it, that's success to me. You know, like I don't even know you that closely, but you read my book and you found something in there that you can get inspired from or you can connect to. That's success to me. So I think it's people's expectations of what their success was for me. And having to navigate that and come out the other end and realizing that actually what I'm doing is what I believe to be successful, which is living a life where I'm a writer, which I never thought I would be.
I hear that. You like this resonated with me because I spoke about it generally word for word on the pod. My school said I was gifted and talented. My parents insisted I was multifaceted. My family put me on a pedestal, just to see me topple and fall. Friends remain skeptical, laughing at my tall dreams because I made it because it made them feel small.
Facts. Yeah. Sometimes your nearest and dearest can be your enemies, I suppose. You know, they say like friends like these, you need enemies, right? So, and I don't think it's malice from them, but it's sometimes when somebody does something that it's outside of their version of truth.
Yeah.
They can feel threatened by it.
Do you feel like you let people down?
Not anymore.
Are you sure?
I did, yeah. When 2017, probably 2018, I was feeling that way because I quit my job to write a book.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around me didn't understand. Luckily, my guru was the one who supported me the most. And then my parents, because that was when I was writing Diary of a Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And it was released in 2019.
Yeah.
So from quitting my job to releasing Diary of a Pilgrim,
Yeah.
there was that void of there's nothing, you know, where I knew there was something brewing on my laptop or in my mind, but it wasn't out and no one could see what the reason why I had left such a secure position, you know, especially when you're coming from an Indian background.
Yeah.
People want stability and I completely understand that, but I chose chaos.
Chaos now you're calling it.
As in, yeah, the unknown, right? Like I chose the unknown. I chose not order. I chose chaos. And that's where freedom is chaos at times. It depends how you look at it.
I don't know. I'm digging a bit deeper with this. Just only reason why I'm thinking of like, and I'm not saying there's that maybe it's something you're still going through or something that still lingers around, but like reading it, in my head I'm thinking there's some deep chapters in here.
Yeah,
we call them chapters, deep poems in here. Yeah. Mr. Failure.
Yeah.
Mr. Restart.
Yeah.
Mr. Addict.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Kish basically trying to just get out to the world right now, what possibly he's still going through.
It's a good question. I think it's what I definitely have gone through. It's it's about being honest. Like I coming from an Asian Indian background, my honesty was always capped with respect. I don't know if you may feel that, but whatever happens at home stays at home, right? Like you don't speak about the truth because it could be disrespectful to the people that have lived with you. Well, I thought that anyway. I don't know about other people. So, and even my failures or my addictions at times to certain things, I never was allowed to speak about it fully because people would look bad on my family or you know, all these concepts that we have. And this was just me trying to release myself from that and be as honest as possible.
That's what I'm just thinking. I'm just like, I came to the realization behind it with my self-worth. One thing I talk about religiously, I have done in this pod, is how I had an element of coaching and stuff which made the penny drop for me. And I realized more recently, can I see this thing latch onto me? And I might be chatting shit through my teeth, trying to basically say, yeah, I'm good. I know how to handle myself. Nah, bro. Like the scene I think of is when in Venom, just jumps on him, attaches itself to him, and it's like you're trying to just pull that shit off of you, but it's just gravitating back. And there's been times where in my head, like, people think traveling is all happy days at times. Bro, no, man. That shit can make you feel lonely at times. It can allow you to dig deeper with the stuff you're going through. And while I was abroad doing my thing, sometimes I felt that venom just attach. And it's that lack of self-worth, and it's what you normalize for so long. And now because you've separated yourself from it, it can come back. And it's trying to catch yourself in that moment to take that off. But I've realized there are times where it's probably still there and there's a little speck, and I'm just allowing it, and I'm just scratching it and irritating it versus actually saying, get the fuck off me. And I'm allowing it to actually play on my head.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, like, when I was reading this, like, is there some of that with you still? You know, if I read Mr. Alone, just a few bits, and I don't want to share too much on it because this is your masterpiece, bro, and I think everyone should support the cause and get involved and really deep it like the way I deeped it. When did you realize that in this world it's only ever you and you? Was it now, or have you known, or is it something that you yet to believe to be true? I've always had a constant dialogue with myself. Apparently that's the first sign of being mad. Crazy, right? That they shun you from speaking to that one voice that which will always understand. Yeah. Mad.
I love that. I think I've always felt like that though, like since I was a kid, because I used to talk to myself all the time, because it was this one dialogue that I used to have that would let me really evaluate my thoughts and get to like some deeper meanings of how I was feeling. This is when I was like young. But then I heard that if you talk to yourself, you sound like being crazy. So I was like, shit, like, am I off my nut? But again, all these things that I speak about is something that I've been through.
Yeah.
And of course there are elements that are still with me today. But I did, again, because this book is His Light in My Darkness, I had to really use a lot of the darkness from moments in my life where I was in those places.
Yeah.
Am I there now? I would say mainly not. Like you said, there must be still like those little bits which I can't say 100% gone. I would never, that would be arrogant of myself. But I went from being lonely to alone. I think
that's one thing I said to myself a lot out there. I was like, brother, you don't feel lonely because you like walking out, exploring the city by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need someone there with you.
Yeah.
But then there were times I caught myself thinking, bro, there's a language barrier right here, right now. I feel like I'm stuck, just me on my phone. I can't, if I'm honest, in Japan, like if I want to speak to someone, it's Google Translate everywhere. I don't know any Japanese. And it was a big little learning curve for me, because everywhere I'd been so far, English was fine. Philippines, you can run it.
Yeah.
Bali, everyone's pretty much, if you're not British, you're from Europe, if you're not Australian, it's like everyone understands the language regardless. So yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener, just thinking, fuck yeah, raw, I guess it's just me and me.
Yeah.
But do I feel alone? Do I feel lonely? Do I feel lost? Different phases, different understandings.
Phases. Just similarly, I went to Pondicherry in Feb by myself. I was there for a week by myself. And I actually booked the wrong accommodation. So I thought I was staying in Oroville, but I was staying just outside Oroville. So I was completely by myself, like an old family that I was staying with. And it's that feeling of there's no one here. I can literally just be on my phone all day or watch TV all day and just be in like a recluse. Or I can get out there and just explore. And I love those moments where I'm with myself, because I feel I learned the most about myself, like you just said, like, and that work needs to be done, because sometimes you can ignore parts of yourself so easily in a busy world that have like things that need to be healed or things that need to be mulled over. And just before I left, my best friend passed away, the person I dedicate this book to. So it was a really moment where I had to really reflect, because she was a big part of my life, and going through that grief and trying to figure out what I want with life, and seeing somebody so young and so close to you pass is tough for anybody. And it gave me the opportunity to really slow down and look at myself and look at those dark parts of myself. But luckily, like I said, like I have somebody that's shone light on those dark parts. So even when I'm looking at the dark, simultaneously I'm finding the light too. You know, so it is about looking at you can't lie to yourself, or you can't hide from yourself, which I think a lot of people do on their day-to-day life. And this was a moment of me looking straight at it, and this is when you were feeling lonely, or this is where you were heartbroken, or this is where you were addicted to something, or this is when you've always promised that you're going to start life again and you just never done it, and finding out the reasons why and trying to overcome them.
You still grieving?
At times. It's Raksha Bandhan come on Monday, and she done Raksha Bandhan with me every year for the past 6 years, I'd say. So it's a tough day for me because Raksha Bandhan is really special for me, and I will miss her a lot.
Sorry to hear as well, bro.
No.
I said that earlier.
No. It's thank you, but yeah, of course. I think I will always miss her because she was so special to me. But what's wonderful about our relationship is we both knew how much we loved each other. There's never been a fluctuation of that. There's no regrets. So in that sense, I'm blessed. And I just have to be responsible for her daughter and her husband and just be there for them. And I take my responsibilities seriously. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that relationship continuing.
Someone messaged me the other day and said, "Bro, you only work with women right now. There's so many guys going through things. Why are you not facilitating a service to work with them?" And I always say, no, of course I work with guys, but my content and the messages I've had and the people I've worked with are a majority women. And it's easier for someone to speak to me if you are a woman, because maybe maybe it's a safer space for you to chat to me than possibly going to someone else. And when she said that about guys, it got me thinking, bro, there's so many guys there I could help. But there's a question in regards to who we actually going to go, are they actually going to reach out to me? Are they going to just brush it off and pretend that it's okay and they're just going to deal with it their own? And it got me thinking about what I was doing while I was out there. I wanted to just sign up to therapy, but I didn't. I just thought maybe the time zone's going to be difficult, and do I really need it, do I not? And then I have since I've come back. And I was speaking to my boy once, and he was like, bro, do you know what the sad thing is? Yeah, you know, and I know that when we go through things, it's very difficult for possibly someone to comprehend that information, i.e. one of the other boys in the group, because sharing that information, it's just something we're not going to do. We don't want to be a burden. We just think we can power through, we can find a way, and it's just our problem. We'll deal with it. Truthfully though, there are people out there that you can go to, and you should never feel that way. But sometimes we get lost within how we've been built up and nurtured, that we won't say what it is that's really going on. And when I hear about you, what you're doing right now, you're grieving and you've got responsibilities, bro, it's okay to reach out to individuals as well. You don't need to be the knight in shining armor for let's call it your sister's husband and child thing, you know? You're allowed to feel pain too.
No, thank you for that. But I'm lucky. I'm supremely blessed because I have a guru and he's given me a community. I have people around the whole world, and that's been a real support system for me for most of my life, especially since I started following him properly. So you are right. I have people that I share with.
You do open up then, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. I have a massive group of friends, but I don't share up with everybody. I'm not an oversharer. Just the people that I know will be there for me. And luckily, 3 or 4 of my friends, because they knew Shireen too, they were right with me the whole time. I was never alone. I wasn't alone until I went away. And then when I came back, I was more fresh and more able to carry on with my life. But yeah, like I said, I'm really blessed and lucky to firstly have a community to open up with, and also I've done loads of workshops and things over the last 15 years, meditation, yogas, to really introspect and find out what this is and know that it's okay to share. It's okay to feel certain ways, and the path is to move from one space to another space. And that path can be from sharing and communicating and having friendships that really hold you. And like I said, because I have a guru in my life, he's my biggest supporter, my biggest a role model, and I tell him everything, and he's always been there for me. So in that ways, I am really grateful for what I have. But I do agree with you in the sense that we have to normalize, especially guys talking to each other about real stuff. I've heard, I don't know if we spoke about this last time, but they say that girls normally have like face-to-face conversations and guys have like side-to-side conversations. Like we watch TV together, watch a game together, but we will never look into each other's eyes and have a conversation because it makes us feel uncomfortable. But that's something that we need to work through, and I think people like you are definitely there to help.
Yeah, try and facilitate that.
Yeah,
I get that, bro. I get that. Now it's I'm glad you've got people you're reaching out to. I just, yeah, I'm a good reader of energy at times. I feel like maybe there's something there. I'm not saying that you're not opening up, you're not speaking to people, but I'd hate for you to be in a position right now where you felt shit. Yeah, you know what? Fuck, there is something, but I just don't want to talk about it right now because I'm a guy and I'm just gonna keep it.
Oh no. As you can see, my books are quite feminine.
Let's there's another chapter that stood out. Kind of possibly links into what I'm going to be going into later down the line with some of the content I'm going to start creating.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's quite relevant. Hopefully this comes out at a similar time and it all like coincides with it. Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
You were never in my universe, then you became my whole universe. Then one day you left and my universe changed. Even though your light went away, my universe was never the same. Starstruck lovers living on cloud number 9. A match made in heaven, our destinies intertwined. She felt like a divine find. I thank the gods for having her to share my mind. You good?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah.
Bro, it's like, you know when you hear stuff like this, yeah? When I hear stuff like that, I'm getting flashbacks of like Neo and So Sick. I'm getting flashbacks of Mario, Let Me Love You, Usher, Let It Burn, Confessions, all of this stuff. I don't know why that rang there. My bad, bro.
That's okay.
When I hear stuff like this, it just gets me thinking there's something deep there. I've done it where I caught myself writing lyrics and poems and stuff like that. And I know it's deep in the moment. I know I can transition from it and be who I am right now.
Yeah.
So that's all in the past. But I just wanted to just hone in again. Because
this
is what I'm trying to say. You've gone from talking about being alone, who you're meant to be, a broken heart.
Yeah. It's real stuff. And this is all stuff that I've been through. That's about a specific person.
Yeah.
And we broke up she broke up with me during COVID.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years now. So it was actually quite funny when I wrote that because the feelings had pretty much gone. Like I'm completely in a new space now.
Yeah.
And she is too. But I knew I had to talk about heartbreak because how I write all the titles first. So I wrote all the titles of the poems that I was going to write for this book, and then I write the poetry afterwards. So I had to like go back into memory and really examine how I was feeling in those moments to bring it out.
Do you not feel like maybe you still might feel a bit of that right now though? No,
it's not for her especially.
I don't know if that's shots fired or not.
No shots fired. No. As in, I'm lucky because it's been like 4 years. I've seen how the future's developed.
Yeah.
And I know, and a lot of people have told me that I'm in the best space possible.
Yeah.
Because she's somebody that's in my community, somebody that I know. So she's somebody that I've always been in contact with. And we're actually completely fine to this day. Like she's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own thing. And we've settled all our differences, which is really lovely. But again, like, when instead of talking about today, I'd rather talk about what I was feeling when that happened, and it was chaos. It was complete disarray, chaos. I couldn't believe. I actually thought me and her, I thought we were gonna get married. Like it was that deep. Like she met my family, she met my grandparents and stuff like that. I don't do lightly. I've never have in the past, and I actually thought that me and her were gonna get married. So when that happened during COVID, and my sister got married literally in COVID too. So she left a week after me and her broke up. Like it was a crazy time. So I was completely alone in that time. I was because me and my sister are so close.
Yeah.
So her leaving, my relationship ending, I don't, those few months afterwards, I can't even remember. I just remember being as close to depressed as I've possibly been. It was a dark time as well. COVID wasn't fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it was the winter time. Like everyone was stuck in a home, couldn't leave. So that was a tough time.
Yeah.
And those were real feelings. Like, yeah, and luckily, like, again, I think luckily my parents knew about the relationship. The first relationship, they probably knew about me. So they were there to support and they were there to help. But again, I did feel very lonely during that time, and my whole world just flipped.
How long did it take you to heal? Be honest.
3 years.
Fine. So, literally.
So 2020, 2023.
So when we were recording last year, possibly you're still feeling.
Probably still, yeah, the ends of it. Yeah, because she got married last year.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Crazy. I know the guy too.
Okay.
Crazy. And I was in India when she got engaged to that guy, and that was in front of me, which was crazier. So it's been a hell of a journey. So that was actually the trigger point for me to write this book. So I went to India, and with my girl, we always celebrate New Year's together. And she already told me that she was going to get engaged to somebody else, and I knew the guy too. And that happened in front of me. And when I came back, I was disorientated. I just
caught you by surprise.
Yeah,
Shock.
it was just
it's like, kind of, you knew it was happening, but
experiencing it is different than knowing about it. And then especially when a lot of people were asking me, what happened? Like, I thought you two were getting married. So it was a bit of a, wow, like life can turn fast. And that period is where I felt darkness the most. You know, there's a part when I write about Anakin Skywalker, and that's when I had the whole Anakin Skywalker feeling, where I really understood how attractive the dark side is, and how like being depressed and hating the world is a slippery slope, you know. And yeah, that was quite a interesting time of my life. But luckily, yeah, I think 2023 was when I was like, okay, it's time to move forward now. And the whole of last year was great, and this year's been amazing. So,
I appreciate you being honest and saying like it's taken you a number of years, because some people think it's a quick process. I tell everyone all the time, I was like, bro, you can't run before you start walking. If you've broken your leg, and that's what this breakup feels like, how are you expecting to just be on the bandwagon straight away? Like, you gotta generally sit with whatever it is that's going on. If you're a lover, if you're a hopeless romantic, if you felt like they were the one, of course it's gonna take time.
100%.
You know, you can't put a stamp on when you're gonna be fine by it, because you might catch yourself in a few months later thinking you're all good with someone, and then you're still getting flashbacks. You ain't fully over it yet. And like in therapy, one thing that stood out for me was my therapist said something across the lines of, when you're questioning yourself, when you're going over and over again, or when you're thinking you're not thinking about it, etc., sometimes you're showcasing expressions of sadness and anger, and it's all related to the grief. And it might not necessarily be related to the breakup itself, but something way further back. But the breakup is a trigger now to like bring that back into reality. So albeit you think you're questioning this whole breakup and this pain, that pain probably comes from something a little bit further back, but you just embed the two. So if you're upset right now with whatever that's going on, it's cool. Be blessed with it. Accept it. Accept the fact that you are still grieving this right now, and maybe you might grieve it for a long time, and it's blessed. But 3 years, like that's a painful experience for you. Possibly thinking hopes, buts, what ifs, maybes, all of that, and the fact that like obviously it took for her to basically make it visually clear she's moving forward right now, for you to then say, you know what, cool, I've got to do the same. I applaud you for being honest with it right now, and I thank you for generally sharing that, because I feel some people feel because they got dealt a bad hand, and however long they were with someone and whatever's happened within their relationship, and now they're going back to being single, it's let me just crack on and get on with it and just move on in life, because I got to do what everyone else is doing. I need to get married. I need to have kids soon. My body clock is ticking, this, that, and the other. And it's like, nah. You want that hopeless romantic love. How can you force that? If you're still missing that person for whatever it is that they did, fine. We need to make sure you're very, very clear and apparent to all the red flags that were there that you just were like, nah, I'm not looking at them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I want to say. Firstly was like heartbreak is crazy, because it's not just emotional and mental, it's actually physical.
Yeah.
Like It actually hurts physically, not just which was something that people don't really speak about. And I wanted to give myself time to get over it and heal, because I'm quite self-aware, I'd say, in the sense that I don't want to get into something else if I'm still broken.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could get myself into something else if I'm not whole.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to even do that. It's just not part of me. Like when I'm fully ready, like now I feel like I'm in a much better position, or I'm happier, or
you can offer the best spoken third, the best kiss.
There you go.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. And I think for the other person as well, it's that's important for me. And also I believe in destiny. I believe in things happen at the right time. That's something I've always believed in. So whenever I do get married, and whoever it is
I'll drop you something. I'll drop you something funny right on the back end of this episode. I'll let you know something hilarious.
And also that means that what I had to go through is what I had to go through too.
Yeah.
So if I believe in destiny, I can't have it whenever it suits me.
Exactly. That's another thing. I feel like some people don't realize that. It's like you generally have, it hurts, and I know it sucks, but you had to go through this to realize they weren't the one. Because if they were the one, it never would have gone the way it did. You had to go through this right now to understand what 8 out of 10 feels like, what 9 out of 10 feels like, to ensure that you go for 10 out of 10 the next time round.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks so bad. Because when you're put in a position where, like you said, you envision the future, etc.
Yeah.
The lesson I've taught myself and all of this stuff, not necessarily breakups, but like failures and stuff, like don't have the expectation it's always going to work out. We live in a world where we think in our heads it's all fantasies and fairy tales, but the truth is remove the expectation, because anything can happen.
Yeah, correct.
It can be taken away from you.
Correct.
Not by choice. They could fall out of love with you. They might be going through things where they cheat on you. Like anything can happen. Dial it back in and understand that this is life and this is the way it works. And as long as you're true to yourself, and if you're hurt, you're hurt. You're gonna learn from it.
Yeah.
Move forward. Let me dial it back though. There was a few things you said. You said physical pain. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, bro. Like my heart was hurt, bro. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I felt sick at times. I remember I didn't feel well.
Yeah.
You know, I felt, and there's a lot of emotions that come with it. You know, it's the heartbreak, it's the expectations, it's the future envisioned, it's the anger. There was a lot going on at one time, and like the pain is literally in your heart chakra, I think. So a lot of pain there. But yeah, again, interesting times. And for me, this book wouldn't have come if I didn't go through that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always like, oh wow, like that's an artist is like Adele. She makes the best music when she's heartbroken, bro. Like most artists do. So this is what I had to do. This is what I had to do. So again, that physical pain is there.
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't expect, really. But yeah.
No, I get that. And like I said, you've articulated that very much well through your words. Are you out of the darkness?
Good question. That's a great question. I can't say yes and I can't say no. I think you're always in that middle space. I think I'm more towards the light than I am in the dark these days, but that can swing in pendulums. I think somebody who is completely light is the ones that we call enlightened. And because I'm not enlightened, I will always have some darkness with me. Maybe that's more philosophical. Maybe that's more of a spiritual angle I'm taking. But there's only one person I know personally who's completely in the light. That's my guru. Everyone else has aspects of darkness they're dealing with. They could be more closer to the light than they are to the dark, but they won't be completely light until they become enlightened.
Can you not be in the light though, but still have darkness around?
Yeah. So like I said, it's a spectrum.
Because no, the way you said it though was that you're not in the light. No, you're in this middle space, right?
Yeah.
But the way I've heard it, and if I listen to this back, would be you still acknowledge that you're in a dark space, that there is light there, but you're in a dark space. That's the way I've just taken that right
Okay,
now.
maybe if that's where you take it, then maybe I should rephrase. I think I'm more towards the light than I have ever been.
Yeah.
But I can't say that there isn't aspects of darkness.
I get that. I get that, because I do this thing with coaching where I'm like, let's look at two extremes of life, and maybe take light and darkness out of it, but belief systems.
Yeah.
And we go to the most extreme, most ridicule belief system in regards to, like, say, your self-worth, for example, and what life could be like if you were totally fully worthy. And we create the bridge.
That's nice.
You create that bridge and you get a better understanding of where you are right now, where you possibly would like to be. What does that visualization of you turning up tomorrow feeling completely back in yourself, what does it look like when you wake up and look into the mirror and think, damn, that's an amazing person, that's fucking sexy, that's brilliant, despite your insecurities that is in the other side? The bridge you cross, that it doesn't matter whether you're overweight, it doesn't matter whether or not you've got big arms, small arms, whether you're hairy, whether, like, none of that shit matters. That's a different energy. And it's like how you getting across, because sometimes you might find yourself looking back and thinking, oh shit, but that's you allowing the negativity to creep back in, right?
Correct.
I just wanted to, like, just see how that felt for you. I love the fact that you're saying you're heading more towards the light, but the darkness could still be there.
I think I'm seeing it more philosophically, rather than actual, like, what you're speaking about, like, so I'm just going to use a word. So in the Indian words, we call an enlightened person Gnani, Gnani, and someone, an ignorant person, would be Agnan, so Ag. So that's the opposite. So when I speak about light and dark, I'm talking about in the most extreme format, Gnani. And so anybody who's not that has darkness. So
I get it.
That's how I was trying to take it. But I do like what you said about that bridge and about self-worth and stuff. It's a good way for you to even think about, if I visualize the bridge, where would I be wherever I've been? And I think what's cool is sharing my art. Gives me a great feeling of self-worth, that accomplishment, that getting out there, that thinking that this is all it feels like a new life for me. Every time I release something, it always feels like a new opportunity to be brand new. So so after releasing this book, I'd say I'm in a much different position now and looking at life a bit differently. And that is, like, accomplished now, and now it's about the next thing that I do.
What is the next thing you do?
I have a couple of ideas, not sure at the moment. I think I'm always creating. I want to start my own podcast because I had a podcast before where it was like this, conversing with people, but I want to talk about like deep spiritual truths, but try to make it as easy and accessible as possible. So that's the idea coming up at the moment. When it comes to writing, I have a couple of ideas, not sure where I want to go yet, but yeah. Oh, I just love creating, to be honest.
Is there a goal?
A goal in my writing? My goal has been solidified, and it's always going to be to make my guru happy and proud. I think that's the only thing that matters to me.
Why is that, though?
Because when you have a guru in your life and you follow him, his happiness means more to you than anything else in the world.
Do you not think your guru's happy right now?
He's always happy, but happy with you is different.
Is he happy with you right now?
I think so.
So have you not met that goal?
You can lose it the next second. So it's a thing called Rajipo. It's about constantly trying to be the best version of yourself. And that's through not just creating. Mentally, spiritually, physically. And I think there's a lot of ways where I want to continue going. Because you can be great today and then tomorrow you can always lose it. They say I think Krishna Bhagwan says that the route to heaven is narrow. It's a very narrow path. And so it's easy to slip off that path. So it's always about 1 foot at a time, 1 day at a time, and just keep walking that road.
Just want to go back to you saying your goal is to make your guru happy. How do you think your partner or future partner takes that when it's that's the complete outlook for you right now? That's the main thing. It
depends. If hopefully she's spiritual herself. ideally she would be somebody that has a guru in her life or follows my guru. That would be the best case scenario, and then she'll understand.
If she doesn't, because love works in its own ways, right?
100%. If she doesn't, then it'll be a different conversation. Maybe I wouldn't say it as,
but it's your goal though,
blindly as that. I think the goal, then it probably won't work, right?
It's an interesting one, because it's like, the way I see you saying that is like faith is number one for you. For other contexts, it might be like your beliefs in regards to faith, God. In this case, for you, it's your guru making you happy. For me, if you ask me what my goal was in regards to, let's say, the next 5-10 years, is to try and bring the unfiltered nature to as many lives as possible, and getting people to generally be their authentic selves. So very, very different to your kind of goal, right?
Yeah.
Am I trying to make God happy? I feel like God's given me the opportunity to just be the best version of me, so I'm gonna just keep running it. Am I doing this to make my grandparents, who are no longer here, happy? They gave me everything to do what I got to do. So I feel like my goal might be very different to your situation.
Yeah.
And I know some people, when it comes to like faith and religion and spirituality, like sometimes that could be a hindrance in regards to when you find someone who doesn't quite get it. The only reason why I said that is just purely because
it's a great question, because it's questions that I have to deal with. I'll give you another example. My sister she's married now, but she met somebody who's doesn't follow my guru, right?
Yeah.
But they met when they were younger, when they were both at uni, when they were like 18, 19, and she just started following as well. So he got to see my sister grow from it, and see the benefits of having a spiritual idea in their life, and having a guru, and having spirituality as a base in her life. And in that way, he grew to love her differently. And they're incredible together. And now he's always been open, but much more open to my guru and his teachings and stuff like that.
I get that.
And I'm in a different position, because they won't see me grow. They'll see me as I am today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So like, and they'll see me as I am today. So maybe I probably will have to look for somebody that has a guru or is spiritual, or follows the same guru as me. I think that would probably make it much more easier for myself. And most of my friends marry people who are following the same guru or following a different guru, but still spiritual. And it makes it a much more seamless.
Yeah, cool. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot more understanding that goes around these days, especially when people marry between one race with another, or one religion to another, and it's like that general mutual understanding. Like, I'm never going to get in the way of yours. You won't get in the way of mine. But it's just because you said it's your goal to make your guru happy. It just got me thinking, like, from a place of where, if I'm in my eyes, if I'm your partner, I'm thinking, if I'm never going to be your number one, where do I align in regards to? It's just very, very interesting. Yeah,
because you said my goal, right?
Yeah.
But making my guru happy could mean making my partner happy. Always being there for them.
That's the spin on it.
That's what I'm saying. So like, making my guru happy doesn't mean just making him happy. It means living a life where everybody around you is happy, where I'm healthy mentally, financially, physically. Like, I've got great love for everybody. It's not just about making one. All this is included into that.
Yeah.
If you like selling this book, maybe makes him happy. Like,
I hear you. No.
So even that, for me, that's what the main goal is. That's what makes me the happiest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that I have to check off to make that come true, and that making sure that I respect my parents and my grandparents who are with me or not with me, being there for them is making my guru happy.
I feel
if you know what I mean.
I feel you. I think you're nailing it. Like, it's that's the important part of communication. Is how you generally package what it is that you're essentially saying.
Correct.
But someone could take that the wrong way and be like,
no, I'm glad you allowed me to unpack that.
Nice. Yeah. Because I've been in situations where I've said things in the past, and it's like it's landed completely wrong in regards to the way it's come across. The person's taken it for, all right then, nah, cool. And it's like, that's never me. That's not really my intention. But clearly it's been, the message hasn't been delivered. It's words that have been thrown at you. The true underlying message in regards to who I am, what my intentions are, etc., haven't been delivered. And fine, it is what it is, and we move on from it in life. But it's a lesson that I've now picked up on in regards to how I should be a bit more honest in regards to the things I say and how to make sure I get that message across before it creates chaos, if you want to call it that. But nah, sick, bro. Sick. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Why do you keep writing?
It's the only thing I know how to do. It's the thing that I enjoy the most. It's my version of freedom. It's chaos and order completely in the best possible synergy.
Yeah.
Because a poem has to have some order. It has to have some, you know me, I love rhyming, so it has some order. But the chaos is you have no idea where it's going to go. And I will never stop writing. It's who I am.
And you work in the educational space still, right?
Yeah.
What happens if one of your kids picks one of these up and read it?
That's okay. That's fine. I've never, because I'm a tutor, I'm not a teacher, so it gives me a bit more. If I was in a school, it would be a bit more complicated.
Regardless, so if one of your kids that you work with picks this up and feels a certain kind of way by it,
I can't help that. If that's the case, and if I'm a good teacher, they'll see me as a teacher first.
Yeah.
I have told a lot of the parents that I work with that this is what I do, and they support it.
Fine.
They love it. They love the fact that they find it inspirational, actually, that a maths teacher can write. So it's been no problem so far. And if they were to judge me off that book, then maybe they're not the ideal student for me. So
what if they feel enlightened by it though?
That's great. That's even better, no? That's even better.
It's just interesting. Reason why, because I sometimes I have to like try and check in with myself in regards to the content I'm putting out. I've got cousins that might listen to. They're on TikTok now and they're liking my stuff, and I'm just like, going cool. But like, and what I'm saying is it landing well for that generation too? Like, they're not my audience, but like, am I being a role model to someone I'm 20 years older than, but they call me bro? Like, am I doing that correctly in a way or am I possibly showcasing a side that it's not healthy for them? I don't know. The only reason why it's because I listened, I read this and I was just thinking, if one of his kids picked this up, how are they going to feel? Like, are they going to look at you differently? Are they going to
maybe?
Are they going to be a bit more open?
I think what's interesting is I'm like, I never swear.
Yeah.
Like, even this podcast, I haven't swear. Maybe no, I don't swear.
Yeah.
But that's because it's one of those things. Like, since I started writing, I was like, I think I'm capable of putting words together.
Yeah.
That I don't need to swear. Like in my poetry, on podcasts, I try not to swear. Only because I always, in the back of my head, it's like, what if my nanny now listens to this, and I want them to be able to listen to me. Obviously, outside of the podcast and outside of writing, I do swear at times, but those are the conscious decisions that I've made to try to just be as PG as possible, because I feel like that's just a more universally accepted way of speaking. But no, you are right. I have been conscious when it comes to what words I do choose, because I'm the oldest grandchild, so I have all my younger cousins underneath me.
Yeah.
So, and I've always, like I said, I love responsibility since I was young. So I've always tried to be responsible, tried to be a role model in my own way. And to me, that's just talking to them as normal people. I don't try to like belittle them.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Sick, bro. But time has flown by again. How have you enjoyed the convo?
I loved it, man. Again, it feels like we always just scratch the surface, but I really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you for your questions. I think they really made me ponder and think. And also, I do love what you do and what you stand for, and how you put your content out there. Always a big fan. It's always mutual respect. That's why I love coming and talking to you. So
love, bro. Unfiltered loves you too, man. Again, where can let's plug it all back in again. Where can everyone find you? Where can they find the book?
Amazing.
And how can they get in touch with you if they're going through anything? Yeah,
sure, man. So SpokenThiird on Instagram. That's third with 3 eyes. And the book is His Light in My Darkness on Amazon. It's available like 150 countries, so no matter where you are, it should be on your Amazon. And let me know what you think about it. We'd love to know your thoughts. And again, if you need any help I would suggest you go to Uncle Prius.
Plugging me in, Jesus. Nah, bro, again, big pleasure, and thank you for sharing this with me. And I'd highly recommend people reading this. It's very easy, it's very nice, and I felt like I resonated with it a lot. There was one thing, I'm just gonna throw it in right now. It was about talked about 50 Shades of Brown.
Yeah.
Talking about sex, and it's like something that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
You know, but it's something that happens.
Yeah.
And it might be something that people might want to talk about to get a bit more understanding with family and friends and concerns, etc. So like, it's a very very well-rounded book. I love the fact that everything is all rhyming. I love the fact that you go from left to right and the context behind it. Like, bro, yeah, no, really beautiful piece of work here. So big thank you, and thank you for coming through as well.
Nah, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.